Hey, welcome to the big program. It is the middle of football season. We're about to embark on district play, which we're all very excited about. And so we got the show rolling last week, season premiere episode. I want to thank a lot of feedback on that from our sit down with Santa Fe's Martel Mora. And we're in football mode right now, that's for sure. My guest this week is just a sophomore, but he might already be the best player in the state of New Mexico. Stratton Shufelt is my guest. Strat, man, it's good to have you.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
First of all, since it's hot off the presses today, and then we'll circle back around to this later, but Max Prep's rankings updated this morning, and I think to a lot of people's shock, Rio Rancho moves to the top, and you guys move to the 2.
Yeah.
So what say you, what say your teammates, and what say the vibe in the locker room?
We definitely noticed it, It brings nothing but motivation to us, though, so it's just we use that. And we grind for it, we practice with that mentality,
Right.
We just gotta take one game at a time, we're not really worried about them yet. You gotta take it one game at a time with one team at a time, but it definitely, we can use it as a lot of motivation towards coming into these next games,
Right.
So.
And obviously, I mean, that's the game on the calendar that everyone's thinking about at the end of the season. I know you guys probably are a little bit too, and I know there's a lot of business to take care of before that, but it seems like, all these little things kind of add to that rivalry. And I know you've only experienced it, for 1 year, but how special is that rivalry?
It's there's no other rivalry like it, to be honest. It's it's just a different week, You got all these games, but then you got that week, and it's just you got a different type of mentality going in that week. You take that really personal, and when you line up against them, it's gonna be a physical. It's gonna be a really mentally challenged game, and
Right.
you just gotta fight for it.
So what else is different during that week?
The atmosphere is different. Everyone takes everything really serious. The coaches, we study them. We watch probably, I'd say, about 3 hours of film a week, just as a team. Not even individualized, and it's just the atmosphere. The kids know the guys know what's gonna happen later on Friday night.
What are some of the, like in old school rivalries, there was like pranks and stuff like that. Is there stuff like that still happen? Or is it just kind of get ready for the game? Is it,
You'll have an occasional, some guys would try to do something, but that's when your leaders step in and say, hey, you might not like them, but at the same time, you got to respect them.
Right.
You got to respect the other team, and that's when you have that respect for them, and then once game time comes, you settle it on the field on Friday nights.
Right.
So.
I'm doing a rivalry game. I'm doing the La Cueva El Dorado game, and I know that's an old rivalry that, used to produce some of that kind of off the field nonsense, right, during that rivalry. And I just always wondered if that kind of still goes on.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen it. It definitely still goes on, but then again, you gotta be the bigger man, and
Right.
you just gotta step up and say, hey, let's settle it on the field.
Right. So that's kind of in the back burner, though. It's the last week of the schedule, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It will be the game of the week on My 50 TV, which is also very cool. But you guys got some work to do now heading into district, right? So you had your bye early. Now you're heading into district play. I'm sure if I know Coach Ridenauer like I do, I'm sure he kind of divides the season into 3 parts, right? I mean, because he's the ultimate stay focused, goals and stuff. So talk about that.
Well, heading into our bye week, we couldn't focus on the team, so we focused on us and like what we need to get better at and what we need to work on. We didn't watch any film that week. We just focused specifically on us, and I think it really helped us. Obviously, bye week you kind of lose your momentum.
Is there any time off during a Heath Ridenauer bye week? I wouldn't think so.
We actually got we got 1 day off. So
wow,
it was
okay.
nice.
He's getting soft, I guess, in his old age, right?
Yeah.
So bye week's over, now district play. I mean, obviously the other game that some people might be interested in is, of course, that Cibola game, right? You guys got your defense against a very good quarterback in Aiden Chavez. So, what does that matchup kind of entail?
Aiden's a great player. You just got to prepare for him. It's all preparation, and once it comes to game time, that preparation really pays off. And it's a great team. We just got to get ready for him, just 1 week at a time. It's just they just offensively.
Right.
He's a great passer. They like to pass the ball a lot. He's a tall kid, and just got to prepare for it.
Last year, obviously, you had that abbreviated schedule, right? And you guys play in the game at UNM. What's that experience like?
It was definitely really surreal. It's coming out there. me as a freshman, I wanted to play that game for our seniors. You know,
Right.
they won't get this experience. We were very fortunate even to have a season at that point. So coming in that game, I mean, it was cool. I'm grateful to play on UNM's field like that, and it was just one of those you'd never forget those type of moments.
What I dig about that the most is, and I don't know where this started. If Coach Ridenour started it, kudos to him, man. But just kind of after the game, okay, we're state champs. No arguing about it.
Yep.
I know this is an exhibition, but we're state champs.
Yeah.
Like that kind of swagger, I like it.
Yeah.
Like where did that come from, Coach? Did that come from you guys? Was it just a kind of natural thing?
I think it was a mixture of both. You know, I think if we would have played a full season, I think it would have been the same outcome. You know,
Right.
our practices were just 100%. You know, we would go. We'd have that win mentality, and coach really helped us with that. You know, they gave us the tools, and we used them.
Have you ever been on a team that had that many special pieces at the skill positions?
That was a very special team. I have not been on a team like that before. Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's the unfortunate thing about that shortened schedule is that's a team that odds are was going to make a run at running the table, right? With all those guys, with Trey Watson, with Jeff Davidson, all those skilled position players. That's probably what you guys were going to be chasing during a regular year, right?
Yeah, it was very special to have those guys out there, you know, and it sucks that it was cut short on us, but it was a great experience overall.
We'll take our first break here with Stratton. I want to get back, when we get back, talk a little bit about what you're doing in the weight room because freshmen don't look like you. and we'll talk about that as your freshman year and just how ready you were for the varsity level already last year.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of Proview Networks.
Back with the Cleveland Storm, Stratton, Shufelt. We're talking a little bit about this year. We're kind of working backwards in chronological order. Let's go back to your freshman year.
Okay.
First of all, freshmen don't look like that. So obviously you're putting in a ton of work heading into your freshman year. Talk about that.
Yeah. My dad, going into my freshman year, coming out of 8th grade youth season, I told my dad, I said, you know, I want to play on varsity, and I didn't want to wear the jersey, you know, just be on the side. I wanted to actually play and contribute to the team. And he said, you got to get bigger. It starts in the weight room, and that's when I really discovered weights. You know, I was just like, oh, and I had that love for it, and I just kept on lifting, and I loved lifting. I still love it to this day. It really helps you on the field, you know, if you have that attribute to you, and it just, the strength came along, you know. I think it's more of the passion that really sets the strength.
You would put up some pretty crazy numbers, though, as a freshman in the weight room, right? I mean, tell us about some of those.
Well, I had a 315 hang clean, a 315 bench, a 405 squat, and a 265 incline, I believe. So it's just you just got to have the mentality for it, you know, and it really contributes onto the field like that.
And so, I mean, you get all that, and you start looking around. You notice that you're bigger than every other freshman on campus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally how you stood out on the field. But that's a program where you have to be good as a freshman to play. Like you said,
Yeah.
maybe they'll slap a jersey on you, stand on the sideline, right? But for you to already have a spotlight on you during your freshman year, I can remember, I'm sure Coach Ridenauer won't get mad at me for sharing this, but we were golfing and I was already kind of asking about you, and his thing was kind of like, well, let's let the freshmen play one game, right? And I think that's a natural coach response.
Absolutely.
But you immediately contributed.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype coming into me, and they were like, okay, well, is he gonna actually, support that hype? And
Right.
I kind of blocked that all out. I was like, I'm just gonna go out there, have fun, play for these seniors was the main thing last year.
And how good was that group of senior leaders on that team? I mean, that seemed like a special bunch. I mean, I've gotten to know Trey a little bit, both Treys actually. So it seems like that's a really good environment for an impact freshman to go into.
Oh, absolutely. Their leadership was amazing. I learned a ton from them, and I'm able to pass that on to my players now, them seeing me as a leader, and I have to go out there, I have to be a leader for them.
What's the best senior leader story that maybe, you can share with us where one of those guys had to say, hey, quit being a stupid freshman? Like, there's got to be one of those, right?
So this is when we were in practice, and they called first team D out, and my position, we had a middle linebacker, Nick Gutierrez. He got hurt, sadly, and so I had to come in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out there, and they called this play, and I was like, oh, what do I do? And so I do something, and then I don't even remember what I do. But then I had David Murphy to step in, and he told me what to do,
Now, Murph's pretty intense.
Yeah, he slapped me on the butt. He said, "Let's go, come on, you got it. You just gotta play. You can't play timid, you can't play scared. You just gotta go out there and play."
So, I mean, tell us your first impression of the program, coach, kind of the culture that he's built there.
It's an amazing culture. It protects the tradition, as always, is our motto, and every year there's always a guy that's going to fill that spot, and they're gonna have that same mentality that coach brings to the table for them, and it's great what he does for the kids. I love it. It really brings like the work ethic into it, and it helps them not just in football but in life, which is the main thing.
Right. Well, and I think Coach Ridenauer, I mean, he lives that stuff, right? Coaching's not a part-time gig for him in the slightest. Like, I mean, he lives that stuff during the off season. So, I mean, to come into an environment like that, I mean, was it everything you expected? Was it that much more?
It was everything I expected and more.
Right.
It was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, getting ready for practice. You think it would suck, but I mean, I just.
Oh, I know it would suck. I don't think it.
You just it's just fun. I wake up, I'm like, man, I get to play football in the morning. There's probably not a lot of people doing this right now.
Right. What about not only the program but the facilities at Cleveland? I mean, that's got to be something that as a freshman, first time, you got to be pretty in awe of that video room. You got to be pretty in awe of that weight room.
Yeah.
Just the game day atmosphere. I mean. It's a little different than a lot of other places. Friday night at Cleveland High School. I mean, what was the first game like? I mean, tell us about that.
Of course, it's going to be different with the COVID season. We didn't have our bands. We didn't have any of that. But just going out, it was really fun. I've never played in the Cleveland Stadium like that before, and it was everything I expected and more. As I said again, it was the film room and the weight room. I mean, it's unbelievable, and. It's just it gets you more motivated, knowing that you have all this great stuff. Like let's use it and let's contribute to it.
Yeah, I mean, you think you guys ever take that for granted at all? I mean, it's not the norm, right? I mean, Cleveland football, that's not the norm. They're up here. That's an aberration.
Yeah.
Not everyone has what they have. Not everyone has the success they have, and you guys certainly work for it. But I mean, do you ever kind of step back and say, "Man, we can't take this for granted. This is pretty awesome."
No, absolutely no. Yeah, coach really. He puts his back out for us, and we gotta offer the same back, and I don't think even if we had that mindset, we always have people to say, hey, remember, this is what we're here for. We're gonna do this for our coaches. We're gonna go out there, and they're really for the players.
Right.
Coach Ridenauer, he's such a player's coach. It's amazing.
Now, about Coach, now, does he know when there's cameras around? Because, like, I've heard some of those speeches. And when he goes into dadgum mode, like, we're gonna go out there and dadgum work and outwork dadgum, and does he kind of have an eye for the camera? Because I've seen him. I mean, he's given some great speeches, but I mean, he knows how to motivate you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's always like that. We'll go on Friday mornings, you know, he'll give us a motivational talk, you know, and then before we got on the field, he'll give us some motivational talk. He really is good at speaking to the kids, you know, and that's the main thing as a coach, is being able to communicate like that.
What's important to you as a young player in a coach? I mean, this is a fascinating topic for me because we've kind of thrown it around the office here sometimes and with some friends, you know. But I think the game has changed so much and kids have changed so much. And I think coaches now, you know, the ones that relate to kids seem to be getting the most out of their kids and seem to be in the most successful programs. So what, as a student, as a high school student athlete, are you looking for in a coach, and how does Coach Ridenauer provide all those things?
Guidance is the main thing for me. You know, I can go up to Coach, and if I have something wrong, you know, I can go talk to him about it, and he'll be open, and he'll talk to me right back, just human to human, not even coach to player. I mean, it's just another human talking to another human, and I think that really is what impacts the guys, you know, is just having that guidance in life.
Take another time out here. When we get back with Strat, I do want to talk about, obviously, your dad playing in the NFL and what kind of pressure and motivation, and speaking of guidance, that has kind of provided you, because obviously that's got to be a different kind of childhood. Yeah. So we'll talk about that when we get back.
A 49-yard gain by the punter. Fuentes being harassed in the backfield. He uses his feet. He's going to launch that one up and caught. Beautiful catch coming from Roybal. Roybal down at the 45.
Running. And Vigil trucking, running, touchdown! Zach Vigil just showing the power.
Nice steal away coming for Caden Giron. Giron finds a man all alone on the inside. No easy shot until it is. And Hope strikes back here.
Play action pass. Sapien rolls out under pressure. He hits his receiver. He's going through. He's going to make it. Touchdown.
Same motion. It's going to be a reversal to McIntosh. McIntosh will launch this one up, and that is going to be a first down and more. Streaking down the sideline there is Tyler Wilson. And that's a new one.
They do. They stick to their will, and they're trying to overpower you. They're trying to enforce their will.
On 3rd and 3, look, they're listening to you. It's Solis going down the field, open man.
That's a catch, outstanding.
And he
what an
makes
outstanding catch.
Ready to snap the ball. Pretty drops back. He hits Vigil behind. It's a lateral, wide open. Vigil hits him for the touchdown. Hello, Gage Victor with the touchdown from Zach Vigil with a little trickery, a little chicanery, and all of a sudden Rio Rancho is up 20-0.
Gerardo Lee, quarterback option, throws across the middle, and he's got a receiver wide open. Valdez could be gone to the second play of the game. No one will catch Caden Valdez. Valdez is gone to the second play of the game to the house.
Set it up for Lewandowski as Ava Suarez is running down that. This one being centered. Babinski again, there's a hat trick.
And this time
there's a handoff
to Damian.
Damian kicks it to the outside.
And he's going to give it to Damian.
Wow.
And there's another touchdown.
On quarterback there, handoff to Damian, taking it right up the middle, kicks it to the outside. There's Damian. He just walked it in again.
Took it in from 4 yards out, and there it is. They're going to actually give it to
Right up the
Damian, and
middle.
he's going to take it up the middle.
Right up the
Touchdown! And this time it's handed off to Damian again. He's going to go right up the middle, and he's getting some daylight.
He's gone.
And it looks like he's going to
gone.
be gone. Damian with his 6th touchdown. It's going to be a rush
Right up
for
the
Damian,
middle again,
right up the
Coach.
middle.
He's gone.
And it looks like he's going to
He's
be
gone.
gone. That's going to be an
He's
80-yard
gone.
touchdown. 80 yards to the house. Damian Gallegos. Let's see. You called it right up the middle. And Damian is going to take that ball 70 yards for a touchdown, Coach.
There it is, right up the
70
gut.
yards.
Back with Cleveland's Strat Shufelt. Strat, I want to talk about your dad a little bit. He played in the NFL, so tell our audience about that.
Well, he played for 4.5 years. Mainly with the Giants. He was an inside-outside linebacker. He could play both, and he was also a special teams captain.
Well, I'm sure that is glorious at times,
Yeah.
and a lot of fun. But I bet it has its rough times too. When maybe when you're dogging it a little bit, I'm sure he just lets you have it, right?
He lets me have it, but he also knows me. And he comes to me and he talks to me in a way where I'm not just gonna get down on myself. He definitely knows what it takes to be at the next level, as you know. And so
How has that helped you?
Tremendously. It just pushes me to be better. When he calls out something, I'm like, all right, next time I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna fix that.
And him playing a position that you're playing. I mean, how much individual work does he do at home with you? Like, hey, come on, I know you're done with practice, but here comes 3 more hours of film with Pops. I mean, is there any of that?
No, yeah, we watch film almost every night together. It's really like a bonding moment for us. We watch film. Sometimes after practice, we'll set up some cones, and just do some walkthrough stuff. Nothing, running wise, but just some walkthrough. And it really clears things up in my head, because his knowledge for the game is unbelievable.
Now, is he outlifting you still? Or are you? Where's that at? That's what I really want to know.
I have surpassed him as of moment, but career-wise, I still have a ways to go.
Okay, but at the moment,
I'm stronger. Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll see. He might tweet at us, so we'll see. Well, that's to be determined. But not the only athlete in your family, though, right?
No, absolutely.
So
no.
tell us about that.
My sister is a equestrian rider, and she got a scholarship to Texas A&M. So I'm really proud of her for that. Yeah.
Yeah, like equestrian, for those that don't know, like that's pretty serious.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like that's a very difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are her aspirations? Olympics?
To be honest, I think she is trying to get a major in nursing or something like that, and just career-wise, she's going to do the college thing, and if it takes her that far, I mean, it's really her choice. I'm just there to support her,
So, well, you grew up as a football grunt, and she's doing equestrian. So, what was that like when you guys were both little?
It was I didn't start football till like 5th grade year,
Right.
and she was doing it since she was like 1 year old. So my dad did a really good job at balancing it out,
Was she ever like, go play football in the mud with your friends while I go practice equestrian? Was there ever any of that?
She was kind of the I'll go play football with you in the mud.
Perfect.
She was always the hardcore sister, Me and her would battle it out sometimes.
Pretty I guess competitive childhood, I would imagine.
Very competitive, yeah. It was definitely fun. It was definitely an amazing childhood to have, yeah.
That's good stuff. Let's go forward a little bit. Obviously, when we talk about, a sophomore that could be the best player in the state, college football comes to mind. Already have an offer on the table from UNM, but a Power 5 is obviously the dream, right? So let's talk about, you got some goals coming up the next couple of years at Cleveland, but beyond that, tell us about that.
Obviously goals. I want to go to a Power 5 school is definitely one of my goals, and getting a good degree, and just if it takes me, just going wherever football takes me. And if it takes me to the NFL, then no, who knows?
Now, I mean, I spotted those cowboy boots on your way in, so I would imagine there's this dream school that's somewhere in the South, maybe in the Southeast. I mean, tell us about some spots that you would absolutely just light up if you got that call or that letter?
You know, somewhere small, somewhere country. I like being kind of isolated. I don't really like being, I mean, a lot of people is just kind of not my thing, you know. Somewhere maybe in Texas, you know, Utah. I like the state of Utah. It's just it kind of depends, you know.
Who's more country, you or one of the Wysong boys?
Definitely me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But they're pretty country too, aren't they?
They're more, I don't know.
No, not as.
I would.
I got that vibe. I got the cornhole board and the fun time, laid back kind of country vibe from them.
No, Evan Wysong has a little bit of
Right.
that country boy in him, but he can also go to that kind of city boy too.
The fact that you can look up your dad on YouTube playing in the league, that obviously had to make the NFL a goal of yours pretty early in your football career, right? When did you start thinking about that?
3 years old. I've always thought about that, you know. It's just, it was always a goal of mine. I always wanted to play football, you know.
Right. But that's not the only sport you've played, right? You've played others.
I've played, I used to do BMX. I used to do equestrian for a little bit, and basketball. I played basketball forever, and I've just recently kind of retired myself from the sport just to focus on football, you know.
I mean, basketball, that's another thing that's huge at Cleveland, obviously state championship there. So tell us a little bit about that. Why did you decide that was not your...
I wanted to...
I did, by the way, during COVID, see you try to dunk at the old boys club. I think I know why you retired from basketball, but let's tell your side.
I wasn't warmed up.
Okay, all right. Fair.
No, I don't know. Football got more serious to
Right.
me, you know. It was at a point where, I mean, hey, I can make a career out of this, and I can go far in this, so why not put all my attention onto this, you know?
What's the hardest part about being a high school football player right now? What is it?
Probably the mental aspect of it. You know, you got to be mentally prepared, and that's just football in general. You always got to be mentally ready, and football is 90% mental. You know?
Right. Tell us more about that, though. What goes into the dedication and time you put in? Because I mean, to be as good as you are, there's so much that goes on away from school hours, obviously. So just tell us, I mean, time management, things like that, that stuff.
It's the program, you know. You got the program there for you, and you got your guys there for you, you know. So if you ever get tired, if you ever say, oh, man, I don't know if I can do this, you got your guys there, and they're there to help you. They're there to guide you. And I think just being in that program really gives the leadership to the game of football, you know.
Lastly, I want to talk about that game at Artesia, man. You guys, whenever you guys play Artesia, there's not a lot of defense being played, it seems like, because the score is always pretty high.
Yeah.
But those are always pretty special matchups. Tell me about that a little bit.
It's a great atmosphere to go into. You know, Artesia, they're a very good team, and it's just fun. You know, when you go out there, you see the stadiums all full. You know, you're just like, man, this is good. You're gonna remember this. You know, you're always gonna remember that game. Oh, remember that one time we played in Artesia. You're gonna remember it in the years going on. You know.
Well, Strat, thanks for coming in. I'm sure we'll talk to you again next year and the year following, and we'd love for you to announce your choice maybe here with us at Proview Networks. That'd be fantastic. And I'm sure you're gonna have a lot to choose from. You have a very bright future ahead of you.
Thank you.
Stay healthy the rest of the way, and we'll see you, of course, for a couple of games of the week during district. But thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. Good night, everybody.